Aloha y bienvenidos. Welcome back to the Tiki Talk Show with Dean and Niri Martini. I'm Dean Martini.
And I'm Niri Martini, and in this episode, we're headed back to North Texas to visit Four Kahunas Tiki Lounge.
At first glance, you might miss it. Its cinder block exterior next to a sports bar might not scream tiki bar until you see the Four Kahunas logo on the side of the wall. But once you open the doors to this dark, dive-looking tiki bar, you'll see why it's the kind of place where you could lose track of time, which is what a good tiki bar should do, right?
Yeah.
To give you that bit of escapism that you're looking for. And really, frankly, right now, we're all looking for that nowadays.
And we didn't just stop in for a drink. We had the grand tour straight from the co-owner, JP Hunter.
Yeah, JP was fantastic.
He was super cool.
Plus, you're gonna get a close-up look at their decor and, of course, a cocktail or two for research.
It's strictly scientific. We do it for you guys.
It's true, we really do. But before we dive in, we want to let y'all in on a new tiki mug that was released by Brad Tiki Shark Parker, the Polynesian Fire Luau mug. So this mug is for the Polynesian Fire Luau in Daytona and Orlando, Florida, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But if you can't make it to get the mug in person, no worries. It'll be available online and at tikishark.com.
That place is really cool. It's such a cool mug, and it's numbered, limited edition, and 150 mugs were made, right?
Yeah, 150 of these.
All signed by Brad Parker. And like Dean said, they're available at 3 Polynesian Fire Luau locations and online on tikishark.com.
It's really a rad mug, and it comes with a special edition swizzle, which is designed to look like a Polynesian fire knife. The detail is all around this mug, as you can tell from here, right? Now the Polynesian fire dancer up front here can hold the swizzle in his outstretched hands, and on the other side, let me get to the other side here. On the other side is a happy tiki face on a volcano with lava spewing down the front.
Don't forget the sides. There's 2 tikis
yes.
on each side.
So one right here.
The entire mug.
Yeah, it's really a fantastic mug. Oh, and another detail, with the swizzle that you have right here. So one of these great things on it is you can place it in the mug, just like so, and with the fire end sticking out of the top of the volcano, which makes it look like it's erupting.
Ah,
So just another little feature that it has.
cool.
Yeah, see? Yeah, it's really a rad mug. I love this thing.
There's so much going on with this mug. I love how one side just flows with the other. And I really like the way the swizzle kind of tells part of the story of the mug.
I like how he did that too. Very creative, and congrats to Brad and the Polynesian Fire Luau on this fabulous mug. It's definitely a collector's edition, or collector's item, I should say, and I can't wait to have a cocktail in it, because we haven't had a chance to have a cocktail in this just yet.
It's gonna be cool.
So this is a perfect segue, without further ado, to dive into the Four Kahunas Tiki Lounge. We're here with JP Hunter, one of the owners of Four Kahunas in Dallas, Texas. So thanks for having us.
Of course. Welcome.
So
Aloha.
JP, yeah, aloha. So tell us, JP, I mean, how did this all come about? I mean, you have the oldest tiki bar in Dallas, Texas.
And well, we're technically in Arlington here.
Okay.
There's one in Dallas, that's Swizzle, but we have the oldest one in the North Texas area. I was at a wedding in Vegas when one of the Four Kahunas, Chris, was like, "Hey, let's go visit Golden Tiki and of course Frankie's." So, well, I have to back up more than that. I was born in Los Angeles, so growing up in the Los Angeles area, I remember my parents taking me to Polynesian restaurants when I was a young lad.
So you already had tiki.
Yeah,
Tiki
so
culture in your blood.
you're right. I mean, I remember, I don't remember much other than getting the extra monkeys and things from our drink cocktails, but I also remember the cool glasses and the escapism of back then. And I guess as it rushed through the 80s and 90s, that there wasn't that much of a need for it. But about 10 years ago, I really started sensing that there was, and of course, people were ahead of me on this curve. So it wasn't a great epiphany, but but the idea that there needed to be some sort of escapism. So forward to about 10 years ago when we went to this wedding, and then I had a company down in the Houston area. We did construction, and so in Houston, if you're not where you want to be at 4:30, you just kind of got to pull over. And
the saying there is, it takes an hour to get to Houston, or
yeah, right, exactly. So my office being fairly convenient to Lalo, I was visiting there quite often, and just of course since I was back from the wedding, I looked up the closest tiki bar in Lalo. Of course, it was a great find, and so was Howie's back then. But it's been a long time in Lalo, and Russell's just got a fantastic place down there. Or there was a young lady named Angelica who's since moved to California, a great friend of mine. She's a fantastic tiki file. And she wrote an article from up here about Lalo, and it was spot on. It was very complimentary and spot on. So I said, hey, if I'm back home, because I went to school up here at UTA and such, and I said, when I'm back home, where do I go in North Texas? And she goes, there's not one up here. So immediately I went into my boss and was like, or my partner technically, and said, hey, can I, you want to buy me out? I'd like to open a tiki bar in North Texas. And of course he's like, we can get you a psychiatrist if you want. We're doing, construction in one of the best markets in the United States. But long story short is retirement from what I was doing is just kind of one of those things where you come in one day and you feel like you can't do it. So you shut off the lights, get your retirement fee. I wanted something they literally had to carry me out on a stretcher on. So I thought, well, I'll just open a bar. One of my favorite.
And they can carry you out on a stretcher every night.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, that's well put. No, I think one of my favorite movies was maybe Casablanca. So it's just, I remember as a kid, my mom's friends saying, well, what does, my kid wants to be a doctor, my kid wants to be an attorney, and my mom going, well, my mom would say, my boy wants to open a bar. So it's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, here I am in my twilight years, in my retirement years, having a lot of fun with something that's kind of, it's a business and it does well, but it's kind of a hobby too, and it's just been really fantastic, the kind of people that come in and the smart thing about opening a tiki bar is the ohana from the customers are just completely different from everywhere else.
It's very accepting, and they bring you
exactly
right in, and everybody's friends.
Yeah, and it's that was a great part, but the even better part was introducing more people, because nobody up here really knew, kind of, other than pop-ups, there wasn't any really presence. So especially for the first several years. Not so much anymore, but people were coming in and like, well, what is tiki? And just educating people and showing them that we're not all the sweet drinks of the 80s, and stuff like that, that there's some actual craft in what we do and thought. And hopefully we've brought a lot of people into that. And then of course it expanded. Now there's ones in Fort Worth and in Dallas. So it's an exciting time to be into tiki.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's part of this revival over the past 20 years.
Right.
And so did you have your own home tiki bar prior to this, or
no,
you didn't?
No, not at all.
But now you kind of just exploded it. Now this is
my home tiki bar.
So you're living everybody's dream that's into tiki.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. I confess, it's a lot more work on that side of the bar than it is on this side of the bar.
I believe it.
I think that Russell maybe spoiled me in that it looked so easy that I wanted to do my own. And he never once told me how much work it was actually.
And I think a lot of people fall into that.
Oh, they do. They do. I get people almost daily that come in and they're like, I'm going to go open one of these. And you're like, okay, here's my number. Let me know, if you need any help. And of course, I never get a call from them. I never hear about their bar. With the exception, of course, maybe being Boozy Doodler, who opened recently the Uncharted with his lovely wife. And I can't wait to get down there to see that. I heard it's really top notch.
I've heard great things. We're hopefully going to be making that trip down there soon.
Let me know what you think. I'm sure it's all positive.
I've heard great things about it.
Me too.
And your bar here is fabulous. It's just really fantastic.
Well, you're very kind.
You know, it's not too big, it's not too small. It's kind of like the right size for a tiki bar. It's homey, but you definitely can spread out. You know, tell us a little bit about you'd mentioned. Let's start with the Four Kahunas. So, where's that name come from?
Well, again, it's the four of us got together and we're at this wedding, and like I said, CP, our traveling, our wayward Kahuna, took us to those two bars, and it was just really fantastic. And of course, Randy Shepard was a childhood friend of mine. I'd known him since high school, and he went on to law school. I was a philosophy major, so of course, you know, much less success from that direction. But educationally,
became went into construction.
Yeah, right. And then ended up as a bar owner. Who knows? I don't know.
Crazy path.
Right. I just put my sail up and wherever the wind takes me, I guess. But so, you know, he came on board, and Scotty was with me in Houston, and I'm the only equity owner, but those guys have been good support, and just neat having a staff. Everybody was telling me that, you know, oh, you can't make partners with your best friends, or they won't be after a while. But they've been great. They've been fantastic, and it's like I said, it's been fun.
How many years has it been?
So this July, in a little over 30 days, we'll be doing our 8th year anniversary.
Oh, fantastic! Congratulations.
Thank you. In fact, we soft opened in early June. So technically, I guess we've been kind of open for 8 years now. So yeah, it's been fun. You know, I mean, like I said, the big learning curve there from a guy from construction. You know, I'm envious some of these people that had already been in the liquor business or in the service industry, and they probably fit right in, doing the right things from the start. But for me, it was a little bit of a learning curve, but it's been good because I also haven't developed any of the habits that people don't like. And speaking of that, it's kind of fun up here because we have so many. I think every tiki bar that's up here has a certain reflection of its owner and of the direction. Not everybody went exactly the same direction, so there's no real competitiveness as far as that goes, as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's been a really nice benefit for the people of North Texas, is being able to, you know, see what Fort Worth's version of tiki, what Arlington's version of tiki, and what, you know, so it gives a proper. I mean, it gives a similar vibe and direction, but at the same time, there's enough diversity to make it worth, you know, I couldn't imagine going, well, I'm just going to Four Kahunas, or I'm just going to Swizzle. I mean, to me, I love the idea of being able to
sample.
Yeah,
that
exactly,
variety, right?
Exactly. Yeah, who wants one rum on their shelf?
You know? Exactly. And just one rum, one mug. That's it. All the same.
I mean, I'd probably be happy with that, but I'd be happier with the choice, right?
Exactly. So, tell us the backstory of Four Kahunas.
You know,
every good bar, every good tiki bar has a backstory.
You're exactly right, and that was one of my educational moments 10 years ago when somebody says, "Okay, what's your backstory?" And I was like, "Backstory? What we had been talking about is a backstory. There's another backstory where the Four Kahunas went searching for Lord Bennington, who had disappeared, and a storm shipwrecked us on the exact same island. And you can find his shrunken head in the back, made by the boozy doodler or some witch doctor. And technically, and we found his journal that's there also that discuss how the witch doctor had invited him over for dinner. Unbeknownst to him, it was
he was dinner?
Yeah, he wasn't a guest. But and then his first mate, Jorge, which is at the picture at the end of the bar there, was his first mate who warned him not to go. So the witch doctor changed him into a monkey or a chimpanzee, and then his head was there. And then we shipwrecked shortly after that. And they had the same designs with us until CP and the rest of us started working on some concoctions to appease the chief, who then named us Four Kahunas and let us use his radio for rescue. And that's basically the story that's on our menu. So
that's an awesome story.
It's kind of fun. It's unique. Not a lot of, it's funny because I think everybody, you tell some people your backstory and they're like, that's so cool. And you tell other people where's my drink?
No.
Yeah, no, it's
that's all
fun,
part
though.
of it. That goes along with the drink.
I agree. I love that part of it too. I think that one of the most important parts of tiki, and it's my favorite thing ever, is when people come through the door and it's hot and it's 105 degrees and it's been a bad week, and you just see them visibly go, they let the weight of the world off their shoulders and stuff. And I love that feeling. It's the kindest compliment ever, is when people are able to snag into the escapism that I try to provide. And that's one of the most complimentary things. The second most complimentary thing is when I look around and, you know, I love other bars too. You know, I'm not just a tiki snob where
Right.
but at other bars you go and people are like on their phones or they're watching the sports TV or they're shooting pool and stuff like that. But in a tiki bar, you look around and people, their phones are down, they're connecting with one another.
Oh, exactly.
And it's just it's a neat thing. And it makes it all worthwhile to me. I know that sounds a little silly, but
No, not at all. And if you do see them on their phone, they're taking pictures of it, probably everything that's around here.
Maybe so, yeah.
And their drinks, cocktails, and everything.
Yeah. That's one of the things that one of Mr. Martin, one of the friends of the Boozy Doodler, was up visiting with us. And he said, if you stay on top of your garnish game, the drinks will advertise themselves. And that was the best recommendations I ever got, because it literally does. I mean, people snap it and post it, and then I get people in all the time that are like, I want this drink. And so it's kind of been fun, you know.
So now you mentioned about cocktails. So here at the Four Kahunas, what is one of the signature cocktails?
Well, it's kind of interesting to me. Our approach that we took to it was we took about a third in researching the old recipes and things like that, and all the work that we did as far as that goes. We spent a lot of time on that, and it took us a long time. We got about a third of our recipes are like original as we could keep them. And about a third of them was, we had to call it our version because we felt like it was a little imbalanced and we had to fix it. You know, I know it's kind of rude to talk about, you know, it's like fixing, you know, the pyramids or something, you know, but
But I think a lot of the tiki bars have like their own riff on whether it's a Mai Tai or a zombie or something.
Yeah, so we did our own takes on some. So, and then we did about a third. So at least in the old days, it may have warped a little bit, but in the old days, we were really conscientious about a third of our recipes were originals, about a third of our recipes were our takes on originals, and then about a third of our recipes were originals.
If there was one or two that were signature drinks.
So there's a couple of different things like that. I've heard people say that it took me about 3 months of trial and error to come up with the proper gardenia mix for our pearl diver. But people have said this should be your signature drink because it's so good, and I appreciate that compliment.
The gardenia mix is not an easy thing to do.
That's just not written on, you know, that's not written in stone anywhere, so it's kind of a lot of trial and error, or it was for us. Maybe smarter people have found the right trail. But we finally found it. We're good with what we have. But our best seller is our painkiller. It's, you know, and everything.
I think that's Niri Martini's top cocktail.
Wonderful. I hope you try ours. We, of course, everything is fresh. You know, I mean, we do fresh squeezed pineapple and orange juice, and we make our own coconut with real coconut milk and stuff, as opposed to
fabulous.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, no juice, no concentrates or
or
juice is already
nothing.
pre-made.
Yeah, nothing against the canned stuff when you're in an emergency, but I think it's much better when you make your own and you have that. And we take real coconut fibers and squeeze it with that. So we go through a lot of effort to make sure that people get the value of tiki and stuff, and frankly, it's been a nice to challenge the people that come in with misconceptions about they're all frou-frou drinks and they're all overly sweet and stuff like that. And I've had people that are like, wow, this is, you know, really delicious, and so that, you know, and of course, I think all bartenders shoot for that as kind of the ultimate compliment, but. Yeah, the fresh juices and stuff really help with that. So we have, as far as like signatures, we have, like I said, that's our most popular. Our one that we made is kind of more of a blended drink. The Headhunter has been really banana forward and really popular. Blackbeard's Ghost is real popular with us. Scotty came up with some great garnishes for some of those, and they've taken off really well. It's fun to see 8 years ago Scotty come up with a garnish, and then see it a couple years later from some bar in New York that, you know, hey, we saw this and look how cool it looks.
That's a great compliment.
Yeah, it is kind of, right? Yeah, I think so. You know, so I'm not sure if we have one that's, you know, what I like to see that people come in, and it's like, I kind of compare it to Tex-Mex. When people order Tex-Mex, it's like the first thing they order is, well, let me try your fajitas, because it's kind of that gauge that you can start setting, and we get the same thing. And I love the parallel in tiki with people come in and go, let me have your Mai Tai, and we'll know what kind of a tiki bar you are right for the beginning with that. So
that's kind of like our barometer too. One of the first things, our first drink that we order at any tiki bar is a Mai Tai.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So we had talked earlier about the revival of tiki. So what's that meant for you, for Kahunas?
Well, for us, it's just an ongoing process. I mean, it's every day, every month. Being this close to the airport and being this close to Texas Stadium, and you can see Texas Stadium and see where the Rangers play and the Cowboys play from our rooftop or the airport. We get a lot of people traveling through or coming through, and we get a lot of people from the DFW area that comes in and literally asks us what's tiki about. So I mean that in the essence of the word revival, from that perspective, that's a daily challenge for us. I feel like some of the other bars, it's more of a destination that people just know that's tiki, and I know tiki and I'm going to go there. I think we get a lot of people, excuse the expression, that stumble in. So hopefully they don't stumble out. So I feel like that revival thing is a constant education process of people so that they get the right feel, and not saying that I have it cornered. It's obviously something that other people before me have established, but I want to make sure we don't make any quote tiki mistakes or anything, that we give people the right impression of tiki, because
it's a responsibility.
It's a responsibility. Yeah, there's other places that are making their livelihood by this, so I take it very seriously. At the same time, and a paradox, you can't take it too seriously because then it's not tiki. So by evidence of me being 5 minutes late for this interview, for some reason I seem to be on island time all the time, and I try to. But we do that. People come in and they're like, "Well, what time is it? I don't see a clock." I said, "We got one clock on the wall, and it was set to Honolulu time when we opened." And I think you got to put a battery in it.
All the time on
I think you got to put a battery in it or something, but we don't care. It's just like,
and no TVs.
Yeah.
I mean,
we have a background. Yeah. I didn't want people just staring at me. So no, I'm kidding. We just have something. It's weird because it started off with stuff like educational shows on like the tiki and things like that, and then it kind of evolved to anything mid last century. And
like right now,
that's Maltese Falcon. Yeah. So but it could be a surf show. It could be anything. And then it kind of evolved to our first bartender was really into Godzilla. Mm-hmm. So we get people come in and say, "Man, it's so weird. Godzilla is
Godzilla movies."
Yeah. So I know that's not tiki, but there's also some personal kind of throw in there of.
But I think that's permitted within the tiki culture. It's you're not supposed to have TVs really in a tiki bar, but if you're showing these mid-century, these tiki movies and on the fringes of tiki, it's okay.
Well, I like to think so. And I mean, the sound's always off and it's never on, and we always get people that are like, "Well, can you put the game on?" And I'm like, "Sorry."
That's where we draw the line.
Yeah, we can't do that. Or, "Can you turn this up? I'm watching." No, you're not. If you're watching it, I need to change it. Sorry, but it's not the purpose of it. It's just background. Initially, it was set up there to have scenes of tropical scenes and we were going to put a frame on it so that it looked like you were looking out a window, but it kind of morphed to its own thing. So, yeah, that's the only thing that we have that's really a distraction from. Of course, the music is really important to us. We obviously have it off now because of the interview, but I love Exotica. That was one of the things that first really, really brought me back home as far as the old memories and stuff like that, is hearing the music of
and that's very important to
it's absolutely important
to patrons to tiki bars.
Yeah, well, to me it's really important because it's a neutral flag, like tiki is a neutral flag. I see people come in, and they're like, "Well, can you put," I see parrot heads come in and like, "Let's play something," and Jamaican or Rastafarians will come in or somebody else. I had a lady one time get mad at me because I wasn't playing music that she could twerk by, but that's not, this isn't,
that kind of bar.
No, yeah, that's what I say that, this is, so to me, it's funny because I love Exotica, but even people that don't absolutely love Exotica, it's still not offensive to, they still like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
it's kind of hard to describe. It's a neutral enough vibe to where, or it gives you a vibe that's doesn't make you angry, doesn't evoke a huge amount of emotions. It's mysterious and it's fun. And that's what I like to try to kind of give the vibe of the bar to. So that
it does take you away.
It does, yeah.
It adds to the escapism.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because a lot of people aren't really familiar with it. So they're like, "What is this?" And so many people open the door and they take 2 steps in and then stop. Like, what did I just get myself into? And it's kind of fun because they also can't see because of the light difference. But Yeah, we take
Am I in
them
the right place?
exactly. We take them by the hand and say, "Welcome to Tiki." And, you know,
Come in.
yeah.
into
Try
our
not to be
lair.
creepy about it, but yeah, but you know, it's fun. Like I said, the whole revival thing to me has just been a great educational process to the people that come in, and thank goodness people are really receptive to it and stuff like that. So that's been fun, and it's been a good mix of approach to it because, like I said, Jen and Marty over in Dallas. I mean, they're like, let's do events, and they're fantastic about that. And it's so they host Dallas Tiki Week as their baby. They're kind enough to include us in some of the events, and it makes it all fun. You know what I'm saying? Because
Tiki's fun.
yeah, it has to be. It's not worth doing. Life's not worth doing if you can't make it a little bit of fun, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you were leading into that, and I was gonna ask you that, but you beat me to it about Dallas Tiki Week with the events that are going on, and y'all are involved. All the four tiki bars here in the area are involved in Dallas Tiki. So tell me, how has that evolved? How has that been coming along? And then for Kahuna's participation in there.
Well, Jen and Marty used to do some pop-ups. So when we showed up on the scene as a bar, they were like, hey, we'd like to do an event here since this is like the standing tiki bar. So the first year or two we did that here, and then they opened their own place. And then they were kind enough not to forget about us. They're like, hey, we're doing this over the weekend, and you're included in this. And they were very, hospitable as far as making sure that the scene, that everybody that loves tiki in the North Texas area was involved with it. And then as others came on board, they contacted them. And like I said, it's pretty much their baby. They just, she does so much work on this. And I'm so privileged to know her and to have her involved in this. She carries the flag for North Texas Tiki really well. So it's quite a privilege to have her as a neighbor.
Right.
When she came along, my prayer was, please just don't screw up Tiki, because I'm trying to establish it. And she did quite the opposite. She did, the people that have opened up, not just her, but other people have opened up, and it's just been, everybody's added, nobody's subtracted. So I've been very fortunate to have the neighbors that I have.
Oh, excellent.
The Ohana in this area is really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and all the state of Texas, it seems.
Yeah. I would say that's very true. I haven't contacted much with the people the new people in San Antonio and Austin. Of course, I like to think that I have a really good relationship with Russell and Layla, because I owe everything to him. But yeah, that's, I agree with you. It's kind of one of those things, there's no reason to put a lot of negative energy out there.
Right.
That's only self-destructive. And I think that everybody is tiki enough to have caught onto that on their own paths. So now that we meet in this world, in this area of tiki, everybody's kind of respectful. And that's the key to everything to me.
Yeah, and we have that Ohana that, it's just, keeps on giving, and they do bring the positivity, as you said.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen really anything that's negative about Tiki and the Tiki Ohana, about bringing any kind of negativity. It's usually always positive.
Yeah,
or it is always positive. Maybe sometimes. No, it is.
Right. It's hard to find haters, and tiki lovers at the same time.
Well,
I guess that's one of the things that makes it so much fun, right?
Right, exactly. Well, I think next we're going to be going on a little tour of Four Kahunas, being led by JP. If you do that for us, we greatly appreciate it.
Oh, of course.
That'll be coming up next.
We started off the tour with a few cocktails, as Maggie prepared us one of Four Kahuna's signature drinks, Blackbeard's Ghost.
Next up, the Mai Tai, our barometer for tiki bar cocktails, and it's probably one of the best Mai Tais we've had.
Love it.
And finally, Maggie finished up the trifecta with a painkiller, one of the Four Kahunas' best sellers.
With cocktails in hand, we moved on for a quick tour of the bar.
Obviously, you know the story on him. Again, a boozy doodler piece that when he sent me the rough draft on that, I was just like, my mind was blown. I was like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Our little pin there was sent, bowling pin was sent by somebody in Kansas City. They said we enjoyed our stay so much that we thought we'd send you a little souvenir.
Oh, cute. That was really cool.
That was very cool. We get so much cool people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, the artists, we tried to stay initially with Texas artists, but it just became, we just tried, when we started opening to make sure that the stores, that the walls were flush, we just, this is I think a Kim Bang piece over here in the corner. She's come, no, that one. She's come down several times to Tiki Week and displayed her wares, so we're very fond of her visits. It's actually,
yeah, she's great.
Yeah. It's usually at a rakish angle. I don't know who straightened it out. That bugs me. Life is not straight. There we go.
There you go.
That's the proper way. My favorite ride at Disney World is the Pirates of the Caribbean, so that's kind of an homage to that. That's all four kahunas together right above our Rat Pack picture. And it's crooked when it shouldn't be. So that's how life goes on.
And the Rat Pack, personal favorite.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Dean and I actually, our wedding was Rat Pack themed.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, as you know, I told Dean when he first texted me, I was like, dude, I got to say I love your name. This is one of my favorite music people is Martin Denny and Dean Martin, and kind of got that going on.
Our wedding song is Ain't That a Kick in the Head.
Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. One of my favorite songs. That was a young lady that was a burlesque dancer, sent me a calendar. She said, I think you'd like August because it's tiki themed. And I immediately wrote her back and go, can I make this a painting, please? And she said, that'd be wonderful. And she comes in to this day once in a while and sits underneath that.
Lovely. I love that.
And it's really neat. She's a great lady, and she was great of me to give me permission to take a page out of her calendar, literally. So I probably need to get some more lights on some of this artwork because I'm very fond of it, but it doesn't get to see, people have to really pay attention to find it. That one needs more of a...
Is that Bride of Frankenstein?
Yes, it is. Having a tiki cocktail. I love the movie. I love the vibe. I love... Again, that's a boozy doodler art piece. I like how sometimes, I think that went up during our Halloween party, one of our Halloween parties, and just never came down. And then, of course, I got my homage to Lay Low here in the corner because without them, there probably wouldn't even be a Four Kahunas. That.
I like it. When in Houston, lay low.
That's right. Yeah, we call this the grotto because it's usually with water and makes it look underground. The funny thing of story with the mermaid is when I was hanging it, there was an electrician in here, and I was having this debate on whether or not to put on, to cover with seashells or not. And I said, what do you think, with seashells or without seashells? And he said, let's be really bold and do one of each. So that's how come she's got one covered and one not. And then a young lady said that, she said, I have a name for your mermaid. And I said, oh, what's that? And she goes, Miss Shell. So I said, okay. That's she's the one that told me the good joke, or not good joke, but she told me a joke about, why mermaids wear seashells?
Mermaids wear seashells.
because D shells are too big and B shells are too small. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, bad joke time. You can edit that out. So that I had again, so much of my stuff is provided by customers and people and friends that have wanted to do stuff for the bar. This was a young lady that was like, I'm moving to California, and of course my house here was cheaper than the apartment that I'm getting there. So she says, I'm having to really downsize in size. She said, I would love for my girl to have a home that when I come back I could visit. So she let me buy this lamp from her, and it turns out that it was the same person that designed this lamp, I guess, designed the Oscar. So that's
Wow.
Really?
yeah. So that's kind of yeah. That's
And you have
a fun
mascot here,
piece.
too.
Oh yeah, that's Rambo.
Hey, Rambo.
And there's a plaque here for Eddie, one of the bar friends. Eddie was the first one to complete. Whenever a new bar opens, there are people that race to let me see who can complete the menu, and he was the first one to do that.
Cool.
And he was in last night, and he still comes in every weekend. He's our version of Norm, but only much nicer guy, much more
So
fun.
when he walks in, can you say, Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie, what's good? Yeah, we do. Yeah, no, yeah. Actually, that one so the Star Telegram was doing a picture, and and knowing that it would be in the paper, and it turned out to be front page. With kids looking at it and stuff like that, I had both shells on that. But somebody apparently decided they wanted one of them because it disappeared at night. Yeah, I guess.
Took it home.
Yeah. And I'm very offended that they palmed my but no, it's
One of them is you.
right.
And I guess correctly.
You did.
I did. I said, that was it. The middle one.
Yeah. What gave it away? The goofy grin?
The mustache and the beard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it used to be even bushier than what it is now. Yeah. And that's Scotty, me, CP.
What a great spot. A big shout out goes out to JP and his crew. Big mahalo to you guys. They were the best. And they also have some swag there. So, if you're happen to be at Four Kahunas, you can pick up a mug and swizzles.
Yeah, thanks to JP for giving us the grand tour and sharing the story behind Four Kahunas. If you're anywhere near the DFW area, go. Just go. You will understand the moment you walk through the door and have a cocktail.
Speaking of cocktails, their Mai Tai is one of the best that I have had. I
really
definitely and highly recommend it.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure. And don't forget to check out that amazing Polynesian Fire Luau mug by Brad Parker.
And that's our show for today. We'll see you next time on the Tiki Talk Show with Dean and Niri Martini. Mahalo.
Gracias.